Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got a really fun and exciting video to share with you guys. I have some absolutely beautiful milled textured titanium scales for the Demco 80 20.5. I was having a little bit of trouble figuring out exactly which version of the 80 20.5 that this would fit on. And I found out that I cannot replace the titanium scales on my factory titanium and 3V version because of how the pivot is set up. And I also couldn't replace the titanium, well, actually these are Flytanium scales, but I can't replace the original scales on the original Austin A version of the Demco 80 20.5, again, because of how the pivot is set up. But I found out I can replace the scales on knives like, or versions of this knife like the CPM 20CV version, which has the newer pivot and of course the liner setup, which is required for scales like this that are milled out to accept a liner. Blade HQ was kind enough to send me a CPM 20CV version of this knife so that I could demonstrate, but this should also work on the S35VN variations, basically any version that has this pivot and also has liners. It should work, but before you buy aftermarket scales, I would advise that you read the description. Thanks to Original Goat for sending these scales in. I'm gonna link the scales in Original Goat down in the description. If you've never checked them out, they are perhaps some of the best aftermarket scales on the market. And it's not just for the Demco 80 20.5. A lot of you know, for example, my Hogue Deca has scales from there. My Ritter Hogue has green titanium scales from Original Goat. And even my 8010 has some absolutely amazing contoured titanium scales from Original Goat. So they are highly recommendable. I can't wait to take this knife apart, put it together, and show it to you in all of its glory. So without further ado, let's go ahead and make that happen. All right, so cool, man. Let me tell you, that was about the easiest disassembly I've ever done. And I'll tell you, I got all the way to the liner and I pulled it off and I realized, what am I doing? I don't need to take the liner off. I literally just have to replace the scale. Now, it does get tricky because you do have to pop out the pivot. I just realized I put them, well, no, I didn't put them on backwards, did I? That's how it normally goes with the adjustment side on this side. Yeah, okay. You got to pop out the D-shaped pivot barrel, right, the receiving end. And when you do that, because of the spring tension on the shark lock, it pushes the blade up and over so that the holes don't line up. So you end up having to pull back on the shark lock, line up the blade, and push that pivot back through at the same time, which is the hardest part. And even then, it's really not that hard. I mean, what did that hyperlapse run? Like 13 or 14 seconds? It was nothing, right? In my time, it was just like a casual disassembly and reassembly. These things fit so well. And I also have to point this out. Because of the setup here, this makes this the second most American Demco 80-20 product that I have in my collection, aside from the actual USA-made product. And what I mean by that is the steel is CPM 20CV. While it was machined in Taiwan, the steel came from the United States. Crucible is, where CPM 20CV is made. These Original Goat scales, which if I haven't mentioned yet, are made in the United States. So we have an American set of scales and we have an American blade steel. And then we have liners and machining done in Taiwan and obviously the pocket clip too. But this knife is largely American. So, there's nothing wrong with buying things from Taiwan. I'll remind people who don't know, Taiwan is not China. Those are two very different things. But if you really want all your stuff to be as American made as possible, and you're a big fan of the AD 20.5, and for some reason the Taiwanese manufacturing has held you back from that purchase, this is going to cost you a lot more money, but it's probably as close as you're going to get to the American AD 20 without, ripping your hair out and having to spend way more on the secondary market. I haven't even looked. I don't even know. What does the American AD 20 go for on the secondary market anymore? Right? I have no idea. I'm never going to sell mine. But yeah, this is amazing. And the quality of these scales is off the charts. Absolutely off the charts. It's just as smooth as it was before. The lockup is absolutely perfect. And in all the places where the fitment would be noticeable, like around the pivot, right? Or with the liners and the shark lock area, right? All of that is just machined to perfection. Ergonomically, these are gorgeous. They are very, very comfortable. And that diagonal pattern there, it provides meaningful traction without being sharp to the touch. It's really, really nicely done. Original Goat can make some unbelievably high quality scales. This is just stupendous. I am extremely impressed with this. So you guys might be wondering, what am I going to do with this knife? Because I've already got a titanium AD20. This is actually going to be a gift to my brother, which I have not done in a very long time. And you would think because he's my brother, he gets tons and tons of free knives. Nope. The only knife he's ever enjoyed carrying is the Demco 8020. And this was mine, and I gave it to him, and I've resharpened it multiple times. I've put new scales on it. He loves it, but the biggest problem with this knife is how quickly the edge goes dull. AUS 10A is fine. I don't really like that price tag that's on this one, which is why I always suggest people go ahead and buy one up, but, he uses this constantly, and he's constantly having to sharpen it. Now, I'm sure he'll wear down this AD20 blade, or this CPM 20CV blade as well, but it won't be as often. And also, I can finally put these titanium scales on there. I would love to keep this knife. This is absolutely beautiful, and I am so tempted to purchase the exact same setup and EDC this thing for myself because this has become so incredibly beautiful. Now, obviously, we're looking at a much more expensive product at this point, so this video is really only going to be entertaining to people who, number one, just like to watch people like me put knives together or take them apart, or number two, actually want to build something like this. They also make this stuff in aluminum and various other materials. So if you don't want to drop the money for titanium, you don't have to. You can still get that all metal look and feel without having to break the bank, right? So my, after handling all of this stuff, and everything here was modified by me except for the Hogue, which came like this. But I did all of the assembly and or disassembly and reassembly of these knives. And not only was it easy, but the end result is just incredible. If you're going to spend the money on aftermarket scales, and you want them made in the United States, it's really hard for me to argue anything else over Original Goat because they're just really effing awesome. These scales are just incredible. So make sure you check out Original Goat down in the description. And if you're looking for a reason to pick up the AD 20.5 and haven't yet, because you just couldn't bring yourself to buy one that wasn't the steel you wanted, CPM 20CV, that's been the flavor of the month for quite a while now, right? So there you go. You can have your ultra mega super steel and your super fancy titanium frame as well. I would also recommend, if you're going to do it, if you're going to go this far, switch the clip out. The Lynch clip is, you can see mine is seen some battle time. That is a way better clip. The original's fine, but I like the Lynch clip a little better. Anyways, that was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed. That's going to be pretty much it for today's unboxing, or not unboxing, today's modification video. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do of course have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.